stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tacoma Public School, hold on. Sorry, here we go. Tacoma Public Schools acknowledges that we are on the traditional, ancestral, and historic lands of the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the Puyallup Tribe. This acknowledgement serves as a first step in honoring our nearest tribal neighbors and partners who have inhabited this region since time immemorial, and to whom we give thanks for allowing us passage to their lands. We shall intentionally create inclusive and respectful partnerships that honor Indigenous cultures, histories, identities, and socio-political realities. General Benro, would you please do the roll call?
Yes. President Keating,
Here.
Vice President Strozier,
Here.
Director McElroy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? Item number 5.
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments about the agenda? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item number 6, with I think all the excitement that we have coming, recognition of staff, students, and community. Item 6.1, recognition of the Shining Star Community Partner Award to the Tacoma Yacht Club for the month of December 2023.
We are joined by our fabulous Director of Community Partnerships, Miss Amanda Scott Thomas. I do want to make just so for those that are watching, and we have a large crowd tonight, and I just want to make sure that they know that they also have very busy lives. So if they need to sneak out, they are more than welcome to sneak out after their recognitions. They're welcome to stay all night. We love having folks, but I also want to make sure that if they are new to us, that it is very appropriate for them to sneak out accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Board of Directors, beloved community. My name is Amanda Scott Thomas. I'm the Director of the Community Partnership Office, and it's my pleasure to be before you tonight. We skipped a month, so we are going to be recognizing our December Shining Star Award recipient. And as you all know, Tacoma Public Schools defines partnership as a cooperative relationship between students, families, school, the school district, and the greater Tacoma community. Partners are committed to supporting student academic success and success of the whole child. Partners work with and invest in the education of our children and youth, whose future in turn will affect the quality of life in the entire Tacoma community. When it comes to student success, Tacoma Public Schools recognizes that schools cannot do it alone. And in recognition of an investment of time, talent, and resources for TPS students, families, and staff, the Shining Star Community Partner Award signifies honor and thanks to a community partner who has made a difference by doing what's best for kids. Tonight, for your consideration, in recognition of their unwavering commitment to community service and philanthropy, Tacoma Public Schools Partnership Office, we made this nomination tonight, wants to shine a spotlight on the Tacoma Yacht Club. It's an institution that was established in 1889, and it has been an integral part of the Tacoma community since its inception. The Shipmates, which are a dynamic group of women that have an auxiliary with over 200 dedicated members, encapsulates the organization's spirit of service and generosity. Amongst the Shipmates' myriad of community initiatives, they are proud sponsors of the Tacoma Yacht Club's Santa Project. The Tacoma program with the Tacoma Public Schools began in the 2003-2004 school year. Tacoma Yacht Club Vice President and at the time talked with Travis, formerly McCarver, Stanley, and Reed, which were amongst the first schools to participate. That year, they provided gifts for 63 children and a few adults. For years after that project, Project Leaders worked with Head Start in Tacoma Public Schools and provided the same program. Currently, Karen Hansen, who took over the responsibility for the program, reorganized it in 2009. She added Sue Williams as co-chair the following year, and they have been working with Tacoma Public School District, the partnership office, ever since. Currently, they provide toys and gifts for 25 families, usually around 100 children each year, 100 students. They do a holiday meal and a variety of other gift items per family, including a gift card. Additionally, Tacoma Yacht Club also provides gift cards to our families for use in emergency needs. This year, we provided emergency gift cards to over 60 families through the Tacoma Yacht Club program. Approaching its 20th year, the Tacoma Yacht Club Santa Project stands as a testament to the enduring commitment of the shipmates. Their concerted efforts have consistently served our community by ensuring students, families, and the wider community have the support they need during the holiday season. It is with great honor and gratitude that Tacoma Public Schools awards the Tacoma Yacht Club the Shining Star Community Partner Award for the month of December 2023. And they are here with us. Can we give them a hand? I'm going to invite Karen Hansen, and she can introduce the rest of the folks that are here to accept the award. And I'm handling it very gingerly. All right. You can have a few words.
Good evening, President Keating and school board members. I'm Karen Hansen. I am the past president of the Shipmates Auxiliary, and I have with me tonight my co-chair, Sue Williams, also our Commodore, Carissa Milligan, and Sharon Glenn, a volunteer with our program. So we are very happy to be here. We really appreciate this award. This is one of our shining stars as well. We love this program. Our members love to communicate and donate to this program, which they do nearly the entire year. And then all of our gift shopping and our wrapping and deliveries start, of course, in the fall. So it's truly an honor to be here to accept this award tonight. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tacoma Yacht Club.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And she's handing this gingerly back to me because we have another award to present tonight for another community partner for the month of January. And on my way into the building, I almost took a little tumble, and the award is non-operative. So we're going to be faking with this award, taking the picture, and we're going to make sure that our next recipient gets their actual award. So I apologize in advance, and to my staff, who I know are grumbling right now. All right. So for the January award, again, it's my recognition. You know what the Shining Star is all about. The January recipient is MultiCare. They've been a great partner. As you probably know, they are a not-for-profit healthcare organization with over 20,000 team members, including employees, providers, and volunteers. MultiCare has been caring for our community for well over a century, since the foundation of Tacoma's first hospital, and today is the largest community-based, locally governed health system in the state of Washington. In 2022, Multi-Care Health Clinic was added, a Multi-Care Health Clinic was added to Mount Tahoma High School and has been extremely valuable to the TPS students and families in that community. Kara Kosarif and Sid Markman are two integral members of the clinic team at Mount Tahoma. And it was Mount Tahoma that submitted this and wanted them to be recognized. They said that Miss Kara, or Miss K, is often the first face students and families see when they enter the clinic. She brings warmth and positivity to every interaction and walks with patients as they navigate the clinic. She is always looking for ways for the clinic to be more student-centered, including hanging student artwork, pinning up posters of the athletics team, and at one point adding and maintaining a living wall prepared by the Mount T Plant Club. Sid, always welcoming to all students, is the mover and shaker of clinic operations. From the beginning of construction through staffing and current operations, Sid has worked side by side with key stakeholders to create the best experience for TPS students and families. Sid is all about the kids and how we can help them heal and lay the groundwork for healthier lives. So it was with our extreme pleasure that we recommend the Board of Directors recognize Multi-Care Health Clinic at Mount Tahoma High School as being awarded the Shining Star Community Partner Award for the month of January 2024. Ms. Kay and Sid, can you come on up? Let's give them a hand. Principal David, you want to come up too, David? Come on up, say a few words. He made sure that this nomination went forth, and it's been a beautiful partnership, so I wanted them all to be able to say a few words. All right. Here is your fake award.
All right, good evening, board. I'm just here to thank Sid and Kara and the Multi-Care Clinic that's at Mount Tahoma and the partnership we've had with Multi-Care as a whole. Always welcoming to our students, always welcoming to our community, and it's been a fantastic partnership that's growing. It's really supporting our HCA and our kids in that role also. So multifaceted, talented, welcoming. Thank you.
President Keating and School Board, Dr. Garcia, I just want to say thank you. It is such an honor to be able to be a partner with your community and with the kids. They're our future, and without working together and ensuring their health, we have no future. So thank you so much for this opportunity and for welcoming us into your schools. And hopefully we can grow and develop more. Thank you.
Board of Directors, as you go up and you start celebrating, I would also acknowledge that there's another employee of the clinic that is joining us tonight that also works to support the kids and the staff at Mount T. And so Dr. Leon is also a member of the Mount T Clinic. So please join him. Thank you, Multi-Care. If anyone would like to learn more great work about the Multi-Care Clinic and the amazing work they do on behalf of students, King 5 did a feature on them, I believe, last night, but you can go online and see that. And so between that and the Health Careers Academy, a lot of amazing work that's happening outside at Mount T. So thank you.
Wait, was that, don't we have, now we got, oh, that's right. Hold on, let me switch back. All right. Item 6.3, more celebration. The Whole Child Champion recognition.
Okay, before Laura Allen makes her way actually, Laura Allen, come on up. Come on up. I have a few things I'd like to say before, and I'll read the recommendation, and then Director Laura Allen will share some very specific information about our talented individuals who are here today to be recognized. First of all, please know that there were nearly 200 nominations for people to be considered as whole child champions. What we know in this district in Tacoma Public Schools, from east to west, from north to south, we have whole child champions all throughout this district. And I can tell you that the team had a challenging time picking out the 13 who will be recognized tonight. So to the 13 of you, and I think 12 are here this evening, congratulations. And to all of you who were nominated, congratulations to you as well. And to our entire staff in Tacoma Public Schools, we appreciate all that you do on behalf of every student every day. And with that, I will read the recommendation and then turn it over to Director Laura Allen. The Deputy Superintendent, on behalf of the Director of Whole Child, recommends that the Board of Directors approve the recognition of the selected Tacoma Whole Child champions.
Wonderful, thank you. Good evening, distinguished board. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Tonight, can you change it, please? It is our joy to celebrate Whole Child Month with our Whole Child champions. We received a treasure trove. I'm talking about gobs and gobs of nominations for these wonderful individuals here tonight. I'll just read a snippet of each nomination and not the whole thing. But with that, let's just have some fun and celebrate these wonderful people. Now, our first champion couldn't join us tonight, and that is Yusuf Abu Olbi, and he's from Giadroni, a teacher who creates a safe and predictable environment for students. However, we do have the fabulous Sandy Anderson with us tonight. Sandy, come on up. She is Tacoma Online's librarian and focuses on student wellness. One nominator says she's creating what it means to be a librarian. She invents ways to bring students in, from online book clubs to meetups to being the first to volunteer for everything. Ms. Anderson always goes above and beyond for students at Tacoma Online. She holds fun, in-person events for students and families to connect with each other. She goes above and beyond, scheduling brain breaks with crafts at local branch libraries, activities online, community school events like museum meetups and park meetups to connect with students and families. Congratulations. Micah Banton, Bernie Elementary counselor. A parent said that he always has got a big smile, uplifting. I've seen him ask numerous kids how they are doing. He checks in with kids in class, in the halls, anywhere. My son goes from sad to happy when he sees Mr. Banton, and Mr. Banton is one reason my son loves going to school. I could even have a rough morning, and seeing Mr. Banton's bubbly personality every morning always changes my mood. Another staff member shared that he has met with a group of students who has experienced recent deaths in the family, and he works with the students on coping strategies to work through their grief. Thank you. Let's celebrate Mertrice Chapel. Jenny Reed Elementary School. She's a social worker who helps students have positive relationships. A staff member said that Mertrice is always available for students who need a reset and works daily on building relationships with students in the school. She runs a resource center so families can have access to food and clothing, and connects families to resources so our students can come to school ready to learn. More than that, though, Mertrice has this way about her that helps families who have learned that systems might be something to be wary of to trust again. She shows them that we are here to work alongside them. Every day I hear Mertrice talking to students and families in ways that is supportive, warm, and protects their dignity. Manny Cabillas, Sheridan Elementary Multilingual Program Liaison. Mr. C is always greeting everyone with a huge smile, always there for hugs, high fives, fist bumps, greets everyone by name, and always asks how someone is doing. Always cheerful and positive and sends a warm vibe to everyone he meets. He greets students and parents alike, truly making everyone feel welcomed. He gets to know our parents and students, creating a community feeling that is so special. He's bilingual, so our Latino students feel especially welcomed by him. He shows up to school events to help support the kids. He's an excellent example of positivity, kindness, empathy, and cheerfulness for the students and families. We love Mr. C so much. Elizabeth Jacobson, Stadium High School. Liz encourages belonging every day by offering students a chance to compliment each other and share positive comments. Liz has created a wonderful theater community that 10% of the Stadium High School student body is a part of. Liz sees students for who they are and offers them a place to be themselves while treating others with respect. She creates a community of support within her theater department and shows where every student matters and every student deserves to be seen and heard and thrive to the best of their ability. Camila Mayweeka from Baker Middle School, Community Liaison. The nominator said her disposition is so positive and infectious, you can't help smiling when you are around her. She turns situations into a how can we make this better solution, then acts upon it. She works with all of our students to make sure they have all they need for all aspects of their daily life: school supplies, meals, clothing, shoes, hygiene products. The students all know they can go to her with any needs and for emotional support, and that she will handle them with care and discretion. She is a safe space. During lunch, most of the Hispanic students know they can gather in her space for a sense of community. Camila is an out-of-the-box thinker and is always finding ways to invite families in and be a part of the Baker community. Please welcome Bethany Munch, Arlington Elementary teacher. Bethany is an amazing community circle leader. Her community circle has norms and expectations that are clear and consistent. She has worked so hard to build the community in her classroom so that her second grade students can run the meeting on their own. So cool. I have never seen such an amazing and productive community circle held in a classroom. I am so thankful that she gives her students a voice that influences their learning space and each other. Alex Osborne, Mount T, teacher. Alex is an incredible teacher at Mount Tahoma, leading the way around diversity, equity, and inclusion work. She is intentional in her teaching pedagogy to embed anti-racist practices into the fabric of her teaching and curates a safe container for students to show up authentically. Alex welcomes community partners into her learning space to promote social emotional development and enrich the well-being of the whole child. She has an inclusive classroom climate and culture, which is student-centered. Alex's classroom space is one that welcomes conversation, feedback, and the presence of community partners. Lindsay Roper Hetland, Travis Elementary School, counselor. Lindsay is a compassionate leader in our building. She helps students identify their emotions and helps teach them strategies to regulate their emotions and reflect. She is constantly working with students to restore their relationships with other students and with teachers. She shows up for kids consistently, calmly, and completely. She models best practices for teachers and staff as well. I also want to share that a parent added, "My daughter would fight every day not to go to school, and this lady comes out every single day, grabs her hand, talks sugary. We both walk away in tears. It's ridiculous. I am very grateful for her compassion." There's a parent who I believe is with us this evening that wrote a really powerful nomination. I did edit this down, but it is slightly longer, and I'm sorry to our next champion who will be standing here a little longer. Ashley Spivey, Bose Elementary teacher. As a parent, there is nothing more terrifying than sending your child to school. The commonplace fears of school gun violence, bullying, and the general safety of our children is only exacerbated for parents of LGBTQIA students. As my child started her journey as a trans girl last year, I feared the extra taunting of her name change, the purposeful disregard for her pronoun changes, and how this may play into the very real outcome of suicide that so many young trans kids experience. It can be terrifying to send your child into the mouth of the beast every day, and yet we must. While so many of the terrors I have mentioned so far fall on other students, there is always the underlying fear of your child's teacher or staff also not being supportive of the ways in which your child sees themselves or shows up in this world. I had been worried about what my child would experience as she starts to outwardly display her more feminine side. And then I met Ashley Spivey. The first time of many that I have cried this year was at the beginning of the year when Miss Spivey went out of her way not only to find an age-appropriate book on two-spirit people to share with my daughter, but also ensured the book was culturally relevant and centered Native Hawaiian people. To watch a woman who did not know my child be so purposeful in her connection and carefully weaving a safety net between herself, my child, her peers, myself, has been an enormous sense of relief. Ms. Spivey works daily to ensure all children are welcome, safe, educated, and loved in her class, and while I can only be saddened that my child will only be in her care for a year, I know that she has played an integral role in the survival of my child's spirit and life. My hope is that all educators can open their hearts and minds to the gift of all children's differences, just as Ms. Spivey does. I hope they can look beyond the parts of children they don't understand and instead embrace the whole child. Please welcome Bernice Whitney Stewart, Assistant Principal. Ms. Whitley truly listens. I'm reading from a student nominator. Ms. Whitley truly listens to the student ideas and helps to execute them. For example, Stewart has a very strict dress code, which a lot of students have mixed feelings about, and she was able to see that. So she introduced me to a plan that would benefit the students. Adding the color gray to our dress code, which already has green, black, and white. With the support from her and the rest of admin and staff, we were able to make the plan to add gray sweatpants and sweatshirts into our dress code. And so many kids were happy that they were able to express themselves more. The students would always thank me and the rest of the ASB board, but I do not think they truly realize that it would not have been successful without the idea and ongoing support of Mrs. Whitley. Mrs. Whitley truly listens and responds to student ideas. And our final recipient of the evening, I know, felt uncomfortable being the one to receive any acknowledgement rather than her staff. But when I tell you that she has received more nominations in the last 2 years, her community has spoken, and we must hear their voices. I have 2 children who are very different. One probably never saw the inside of, Cassandra Stephanie, Crescent Heights, principal. I have 2 children who are very different. One probably never saw the inside of Cassandra's office. The other has spent a significant amount of time in there. However, he loves Cassandra fiercely. He knows she loves and supports him, but will hold him accountable. Cassandra exudes love and compassion, and she makes a personal connection with every single student and family at CHE. She gets to know siblings and family pets. She keeps up with what's going on in a student's life. She calls to check on families. Mrs. Stephanie is so incredibly welcoming. Every day, rain or shine, she is out front to welcome students with a hug or high five. She knows every child by name and greets them by name and makes them feel valued. In addition, as a parent, she knows my name and greets me as I drop off my child. She takes time to make everyone feel seen and appreciated. She is a whole child champion through and through. Champions, if you would all please come to the front for a photo with the board.
It's all good. Maybe our whole child team can also join up there, please, for a picture. Fun for me. Yeah. Jimmy, I think you're part of that whole child team, right? Yes. Thank you so much. We have photographers. Thank you so much, Mark, for always stepping in.
Photographer extraordinaire.
I'm trying to help. Everybody's trying to.
So we're going to try to squeeze in, and maybe the front row can maybe, there you go. Thank you so much. You can squeeze in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Woo.
Well, as everyone gets up, I just think I think I speak for everyone up here. Any of us who have had kids, we know that it isn't just one person, it isn't just one teacher, that it takes to get our kids across the finish line, it takes a whole team of people. So it's just an honor and so exciting to see the 13 or the 12, but the 13 that were featured tonight. So thank you. Should we give it a minute?
Ready when you are,
Okay.
Madam President.
All right. Moving on to item number 8, staff report to the board. 8.1. Oh no, did I skip? Oh yeah, sorry.
7.
See, we were like, it's a whole child,
Lots of
whole
celebrations.
child,
Yes,
lots of
celebrations.
celebrations. We're going to keep
Educators.
celebrating. Superintendent report, item 7.1, whole educator recognition.
Great, thank you. I get to celebrate more celebrations here about staff, and this month's whole educator recognition is our substitutes across the district in many different positions. Actually, we have total 610 teachers, 23 principals, 183 education support specialists, 19 bus monitors, 12 bus drivers, 39 nutrition service workers, 77 office professionals, and 9 campus security officers. When I was preparing for this, I was kind of having a chuckle about our amazing substitute folks, because it wasn't too long ago during COVID that everybody was out sick, and whoever had a teaching cert was in the building subbing. I remember Josh was there. I think I was there at one point. I remember Lisa being there. Zeke was there. And I remember with this one moment where I think Josh and I were in a room of 200 kids. We looked at each other with big old bug eyes. kind of like, I think we got this. Yeah, we got this. And then we just kind of did our thing. But it reminded me, obviously, of how hard the work is, how flexible you have to be. And you just kind of roll up your sleeves and got to just roll with it, whatever comes to you. And that's what these substitutes do each and every day. They are the folks that show up when folks are sick, have family emergencies. Sometimes they walk in and don't have a real clear plan of what to do because they weren't given one. And sometimes they have their own plans too, and they don't necessarily have to. So without further ado, I want to recognize all of our substitutes, and I think I have a few here. A couple of them couldn't make it, but I think Katie Bolden, who's a teacher, I don't think can make it, but I think Jasara Gudger, are you here? Go ahead and stand up. And then I think we have a security officer, Sean Weingar. So while these are folks that are substitutes, they're a part of our family and they're part of the Tacoma tradition. And so we need to recognize them as one of ours. And to all our substitutes out there, one more round of applause. All right. Thank you.
Did you?
Well, we were just wondering, I mean, we've had lots of pictures. Should we have pictures?
Yes,
Yeah, we should have
absolutely.
pictures.
We'd
Yeah.
love to celebrate. And so if our guests could come up and join us, that would be fantastic. Thank
And
you
if
so
you
much, Madam
have
President.
if there's anybody out there also that we didn't maybe recognize here that you've maybe subbed, maybe come on and join us too. with not Josh though.
All right,
Yeah.
Dr. Greek, you'll join up there.
Yeah,
You'll
sounds good.
recover. Thank you so much. I just want to echo Forrest's comments. Our substitutes play a vital role. They do an amazing job building relationships with kids and colleagues across. It's a very tough job, and we're extremely grateful. So thank you so much in every role that they play. And I think you can see there's a lot of diversity in all the different roles. And folks step up day in and day out. So extremely grateful. Thank you, Madam President.
Excellent. Okay, now we're going to go to item number 8, staff report to the board. 8.1, the benchmark report, annual partnerships, volunteers in organizing, and the fabulous Miss Amanda Scott Thomas is back.
Right, good to see you all again. And I just want to say to the substitutes before you leave, hats off, pledge of allegiance to you. During the shortage, I volunteered for a 3rd grade classroom for 3 hours, and you all know I love the kids, but it was the longest 3 hours of my life. It's a tough job. All right, community partnerships. I'm here with our benchmark monitoring report. I usually do this presentation in December. I was out of town for a family emergency, so I'm here just to update you all to what's been happening with our benchmarks and kind of where we're headed. So it's my pleasure to present to you today. Just want to acknowledge my mighty team of 2 people. We have my 2 colleagues, Victoria Keys, who is a tech in my office, and project specialist in my office, and Ren Switzer, who is our operations tech that support all of this great work. So just wanted to acknowledge them today and thank them for all of their hard work. Oh, okay. Am I going the right direction? Oh, here we go. So one of the priority benchmarks that you have chosen is around volunteerism, and I report on that every year. As you can see, these are our number of registered volunteers. We do registrations annually because of the law. And so every year when volunteers want to volunteer at our schools, they have to go through the volunteer background check process, and that happens annually. So that's how we count the number of registered volunteers within Tacoma Public Schools. As you can see, for the year 2022 to 23, last year's number, we had a total of 5,000 5,571 volunteers. Our numbers are trending upward, and I'm not sure if you all recall, but before COVID, we were kind of trending downward. And then after COVID, it's been a stretch moving back forward. But we're excited because the numbers are trending upwards and continue to trend upwards post-pandemic. Let's see. Historically, you know what? This is not the correct. This is not the correct.
So let's do this. Why don't we, and we always enjoy Ms. Thomas, so we'll invite Ms. Scott Thomas back, because I think the opening slide had a 2023 date.
Okay,
And
that's,
so somehow
yeah.
we had a technology glitch, meaning I probably didn't submit the right one for you, so I apologize.
Okay.
And we'll come back if that's okay with the Board of Directors.
I think we have the correct one in our,
Do you have the correct one?
would you like to see our laptops?
I have a copy. It's just what's on the machine,
Okay.
or on the, so I can go forward. So, okay, here we go. I'll look at my copy. So 2023, the school year, we ended out with, that's why that number was odd, 6,537 volunteers. And so that's what we ended the school year with. Usually when I report these numbers to you, the school year is not finished. And so we count them all the way up to August 31st, because we have volunteers all year round, even in the summer being processed. So for that school year, we ended out on 6,537 volunteers. So we're excited about that number because, again, you can tell it's trending upward to where we were at the 2019-2020 school year before the pandemic. And again, we're doing pretty good. Most of our volunteers do register in the first couple months of school. And so we are at a good place going forward. On this slide, it's you all can see that 50% of our total annual volunteers register from September to October. Currently, we have 3,604 volunteers that have registered between September and December. So again, we're on trend to meet that 6,000 number or over by the end of the school year, so we're excited about that. We continue to streamline our systems. As you know, our district does not have a centralized volunteer system. Volunteers are processed at the school buildings, and so we manage that process, and we clean up our watch user list, so who can go in and do background checks. Somebody has to monitor that. Our office does that. And then also the ease of use for our volunteer forms, so people can now apply through the volunteer process online. It wasn't always easy, but we have tightened up that, which is important when we don't have a centralized system. The next slide shows what our next steps are around volunteerism. So TPS Volunteer, one of the things that we are doing this year that's really exciting, and the board has is supportive and made it a suggestion that we go out and talk to our community about what it's like to volunteer in Tacoma Public Schools and how we can get more folks into the buildings to volunteer. So we have been planning since the beginning of the school year, planning listening sessions, and to facilitate listening sessions, you all know how that goes. It takes some planning. So we've done some internal stakeholder partnerships. We've consulted with Zeke and the data team, Josh Darling and Laura Bauer, because they did their whole grading listening sessions. And so again, we're not recreating the wheel. We're using a lot of their templates and a lot of their processes to inform our own process. So I'm really excited about getting back into the community. We will have a mix of in-person, site-based listening sessions at school buildings, working with our community liaisons and family liaisons to set some of those up. We'll also be doing some of those at school events that are taking place, and then we also will be operating or facilitating an online survey. So we want to get representation on volunteerism in Tacoma Public Schools from all segments of the community. So we have really set out a meaningful plan to do that. So again, it'll be regional, in-person, online, and we hope to capture meaningful learning and share with you all the data that we collected in our May benchmark report. So we'll have a report for you all to look at when I come back before you at the end of the year. So we will continue to monitor department goal to increase the number of approved volunteers and make it an enjoyable experience, because we also not only want to get people to volunteer, we want to retain our volunteers and celebrate our volunteers in the spirit of partnership. The next slide is about formal partnerships for the 2022-2023 school year. We established out of our office, or actually out of the district, there were 69 new partnerships. And when we say 69 new partnerships, that means those partnerships were established or contract through MOU or a contract in that particular school year. It does not represent all of the partnerships, because we have multi-year partnerships, we have partnerships that are in process, but for the school year of 2022-23, we had 69 new partnerships established. And if you look at the, if you look at the slide, you see that's on par with kind of post-pandemic numbers. So it'll be interesting to see next year if that's kind of the number of partnerships that we do each year. I do want to say that one of the things that we're working on when it comes to kind of next steps around this benchmark, and you all like to see kind of how partnerships are spread throughout the district, so I always provide this pie chart for you, because as you know, Partnership Office is not the only department that establishes partnerships and formalizes partnerships, so that gives you kind of an overview of how what partnerships were established, where they all fail. And the exciting thing about partnerships is that while we love to increase partnerships and bring in more partners, we also are really intentional around the work of deepening existing partnerships. So an example of that, as you all know, we do college tours for families each year, and we take our families and students out to visit college campuses. Last year was our first partnership. We partner a long time with College Success Foundation, but last year was the first year that we partnered together to host a community dinner along with the college tour. And this year we'll be doing that again with College Success Foundation and also the UW Tacoma. We met with their marketing and admissions people, and we'll be doing the tour this year the same day as their Husky Fest. And so again, we're deepening our partnerships, doing the good work that we do in different ways and more impactful ways with our community partners. So again, the goal is always to increase the number of partnerships, but also strengthen and enhance our partnerships. So we have, again, 69 ELO agreements, and let's see, new agreements as of the beginning of the year established that were expanded learning opportunities were 13. And then we have, again, continuing partnerships. We had to renew contracts this year with Big Brothers Big Sisters and Safe Streets. We do have a new partner, the Tacoma Centennial Lions Club. There is a Lions Club at Foss High School, which is getting young people into volunteering through philanthropy, so that's exciting. So that's the partnership benchmark. And the next steps, as you all know, we continue to do our Better Together business and faith leader meetings. We have one more of each of those scheduled in April 2024. Those have been very well received. We'll do college tours for families. It says 2.0 because, again, we are doing dinners, community dinners, and having families come out and join us for that. And then the NWEA family engagement modules, you know, that work that I did where we put these modules together in partnership with the family liaisons and the community liaisons. For efficiency's sakes, we have partnered with Justina Johnson, Whole Child, and a couple other internal departments to work on the district CCDEI, so those modules will be integrated into that. So it'll be district-wide PD using those family engagement modules that we developed through the NWEA project. You can get a glance of those if you want to check them out on the hub page for partnership to kind of look at what we're going to be rolling out, but that's exciting work. So these are the next steps around partnerships that we'll be rolling out this year.
Amanda?
Yes.
For those that are listening, can you share what the acronym NWEA stands for?
NWEA. I don't think NWEA was an acronym. I think, was it an acronym or was it the name of an organization?
Northwest, yes, correct.
Okay.
Name of an organization.
Yes.
And an acronym, Northwest Education Association.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Okay, sorry. It was NWA in my brain for 2 years. So you know how it is. Okay.
It's now going to be in my brain.
Right. So that's that. We've got some equity cadres coming up. PD, that's internal partnership work that we're doing. So we're excited about that. Is that it? That's it. Any questions on community partnerships?
I just want to thank you for all the work that you've been doing for all the years to create partnerships within the district and outside the district. I really had an opportunity last year during the listening sessions to watch you kind of tell people, if you want to do it, if you want to try it, we'll do it with you. So like you've really been a force in our community by bringing more people in. You make people feel comfortable to partner with the district. So as someone who used to partner and now partner in this way, I really appreciated that kind of spirit going into that partnership. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Second.
Thank you. Is that
Thank you, Amanda. You know.
All right.
You know I'm a fan.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. Thank you
And
so
one
much.
day you'll have a sparkly microphone all on your own.
Yes, I will. All right.
I've been shopping.
Thank you, Amanda.
Okay. And item 8.2, benchmark report, annual academic excellence graduation.
Okay, before Assistant Superintendent Zeke Edmond and Dr. Doug Hostetter, our secondary director of schools, get started, I do have a few things I'd like to share on behalf of Tacoma Public Schools, because we reached, as many of you know, a graduation rate in 2023 of 91.1%. Yeah, that is worth an applause. And before they get to the formal part, I want to talk about some of the informal things, because you don't just wake up with that graduation rate. It happens because of relentless work, a continued cadence, and effective effort that's displayed by many people. I'm going to go through some numbers, but I'll go quickly. But it is important to pause and say thank you to all individuals who contributed to those rates. First of all, in our district, we have 100 principals and assistant principals, 113 exempt staff members, 2,095 certificated TEA teachers, 152 professional technical individuals, 184 office professionals, 634 education support professionals, 55 bus drivers, 197 custodians, 182 nutrition service workers, 65 maintenance workers, 34 security individuals, 382 non-regular classified hourly staff, and 861, although the number reported earlier was different, but this is total substitutes, 861, for a total of 5,056 individuals who somehow, some way through the course of time have an impact on this number of 91.1%. And now I'd like to highlight our leaders who are here tonight, our principals and assistant principals. And I got to tell you, there's a couple who aren't here. And why is that? Because we've got some basketball games going on tonight, and they are there to supervise.
Or wrestling matches.
Or wrestling, okay, forgive me, or wrestling matches.
Don't forget wrestling. You can't ever forget it.
So here's what I'd like to say. While we do have the principals of our high schools here tonight and assistant principals, I would like you to stand up, please, when you hear your name. But if you could create an image in your mind, the vision of the different people who I just named as other people who walk alongside or stand in front or walk from behind to help us all get to this cadence of getting to 91.1%. Okay, I believe we have here tonight Mark Kilcup, who is the assistant principal at Foss, representing Foss. Thank you for your hard work. We have from Lincoln High School, Principal Carl Hoseth. From Mount Tahoma, Principal David McColgan. We do not have Bernadette Ray tonight because guess what? She is, I believe, at a basketball game and not wrestling. But did I see Allie Bennett earlier? No, but shout out to Silas nonetheless. And I do know that at Stadium High School there is a basketball game going on, and they're recognizing seniors tonight. So Shannon Marshall is not here joining us. She is helping out with basketball. From IDEA, we definitely have Zach Varnell in the house tonight. Yay, thank you so much. From Sammy, we have Liz Minks, Joni Hall, Thank you. John Kettler is not able to be here tonight. He is participating in an event with students. From SOTA, I don't think we have anyone from SOTA tonight, but nonetheless, thank you to all of the efforts that take place at SOTA. And Renee Fromling from Willie Stewart Academy and Raymond Hall. Thank you so much. And Tacoma Online, Sean Martin, Paul Elliott, and Ruth Schottman are here this evening. Thank you so much. Doug Hostetter, why don't you go ahead and stand up too as the Director of Secondary Schools. He'll be presenting momentarily. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Why would it stop there, right? Why would it stop there? Thank you to our principals for your hard work and your effective effort. I want to talk about some numbers that don't necessarily show up in that 91.1%, but something that our school board, our community, and all of our staff should be very, very proud of. We had 1,698 students who graduated last year. We are making our mark. Out of that number, 648 of those students participated in athletics across this district. 815 students received an industry-recognized certificate. 1,678 students, representing 98.8%, participated in academically rigorous courses. 1,697, which somehow represents 99.9%, turned in and were provided verification to acceptance to their next institution. 571 of those students actually had jobs, whether through Jobs 253 or another opportunity through Tacoma Public Schools to earn money and get money in their pockets. And the average cumulative GPA was 2.84, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, we have a partnership with UW-T. 2.7 GPA guarantees admission into UW-Tacoma. So you guys, we are setting our students up for success. The number 91.1 doesn't represent just a graduation number, which is Herculean in and of itself, but it is representation. It is indicative of a school district who puts in their hearts and souls to get students prepared for whatever it is they seek to do next after high school. So let us celebrate, and now we'll get to the formal part. You ready, Zeke?
Not sure what I can add to that, but that was dynamite. No pressure, no pressure. Welcome. So let's just jump into it. You heard that, right? This is part of our academic excellence goal. Always has been, always will be. But that 91.1%, when you line it up with our previous years, we continue to make that growth and gain. And I think 5,050 some adults wrapping right support around kids is definitely part of that process. If you line that data up with our state, you do see a bump at the state level as well from 82.3 to 83.6. So it's also great to see that trend across our state, but Tacoma continues to thrive. When we start breaking that down by our student groups, our American Indian, Alaskan Native students at 75% has been pretty steady the last 3 years. Our Asian population, we see a slight increase at 96.7. Black African American students holding steady at 89.6. Hispanic Latino also holding at 89.6. Pacific Islanders kind of returning back to form at 90.9. Our two or more race, we see a slight bump there at 92.8. And our white population holding steady at 91.1. Looking again at student groups, our male students, slight bump at 89.4. Female students holding steady at 92.7. Our gender X hitting a 100% even. Our free and reduced lunch, we see an uptick at 88.9. Our EL, we see a slight dip at 81.9. And our special ed students, we see a bump, and that trend has been going for a couple of years now at 76.4. As I mentioned, we'd be divide and conquer with Dr. Hostetter, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
Thank you, Zeke. Good evening, board. Yes, key findings. So we've been here and we've all been celebrating the fact that we reached 91.1% last year in 2023. I kind of wish one of our previous slides went back just a couple years, because we started in 2015. If you would have went back just 2 years to 2013, the grad rate, I believe, was 70.2. And it was that low, so when the board set the initial goal of graduation, they said, gee, if we could get to 85% by 2020, that's doing something. We got to 85% in 2016, and we just kept on going. So it really is a celebration. TPS increased its grad rate from the previous year by 0.9%. We exceeded the Washington State graduation rate by 7.5%. All student race groups, with the exception of American Indian, Alaskan Native, exceeded the graduation benchmark goal. In special ed, free and reduced lunch, male, female, and gender X students increased percentage from the previous year. If you look, did I just go backwards? Yep. I think I did. Here we go. Next steps. What do we do now that we got to 91.1? This is our first year. If people in the audience watched the study session, we discussed the CAP and how the high school CAP has been edited and revised to meet proficiency in not just ELA and math, but across the school, looking at attendance, behavior, and multiple indicators. Director Doug Hostetter, that's me, is leading a deeper data dives with high school leadership teams across all student groups, rigorous courses, and academic performance. We just finished yesterday, Wednesday, a 3-week session looking at data, trying to gather nuggets about student transcripts and what is it about the student transcripts of graduates that lead to their success in 2-year technical and 4-year schools. So we did a great dive. These people behind me are all part of that. Continue to implement social emotional CAP goals and social emotional curriculum for secondary students. We've heard it here multiple times. I think Director Keating said it about the whole child. It's really a wraparound. It's not just a focus on drill and kill in the academic realm, but we've got to welcome and serve the needs of all our students in multiple ways. Continue offering and analyzing our Tacoma Flex options for high school students in Tacoma Public Schools to support them meeting their pathway requirements and support their families. Continuing offering students access to credit capture opportunities. Summer school's been an absolute game changer. If you look at the data I mentioned in 2013 of 70.2% graduation rate, with Superintendent Santorno and Deputy, now our own soup, Dr. Garcia, we've really amped up our summer school, and that has really been a game changer in terms of getting students to graduate on time, and a tighter alignment of student reports around graduation requirements. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Doug. Are there any questions or comments? No? Superintendent, did you have anything to add?
I'll just take a moment to, I think Dr. Nolan did a fantastic job to echo all of our current staff, and I just want to echo that. I also want to take a moment to say that the secret sauce is a little bit within the agenda that I don't know if we intentionally put together, which is, recognizing that partners play a role. You have whole child champions in all different kinds of roles in that space. You have whole educators that are playing a significant role in there. And then I just want to highlight or recognize all of our previous board members that leaned in, our previous community partners across the city. We've had hundreds that have all played a significant role. Our past educators, some of them have retired, but may have been a first grade teacher back in 2015, and you played a role in spaces of those things. And then a special thanks to Carla Santorno, and so wherever she is here tonight, I hope she's proud of her footprints and the work that we have done. So I just want to echo Dr. Nolan's comments and say thank you to all of our staff and all of our partners. And the good news is we just get the opportunity to go right back at it. And good luck to you, seniors and juniors and freshmen and sophomores, as you're wrapping up finals. And thank you to all of our staff for leaning in the current moment too. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, yeah, Director Leon.
Director Nolan already mentioned this, but I think for this, just bears probably repeating, the diploma is so important already, but the fact that they had all those certificated trainings and the BANI, and then they're going on using this to expand and do something that's going to be really powerful for their future is really important. It's not, the diploma is important, but beyond that is their life.
Excellent. Thank you, and thank you, Zeke and Doug, and thank you, Dr. Nolan. And I would just like to say that maybe in the future we could have a game show hosted by both Dr. Nolan and Amanda Scott Thomas. Like, I'm just putting that into the universe, little manifestation here.
We've seen that in some of our holiday celebrations, and I don't know if we're all ready for the intensity yet. So I will we'll work on that.
Yeah.
And then if you would be so gracious if we could just pause a moment. I know our high school staffs have had long weeks and long nights, and I would like to invite them if they need to sneak out. You're more than welcome to. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, too.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Let's see. Item number 9, members of the public wishing to address the board. Okay. And we do have public comment. So, public comment guidelines. School board members encourage public participation. Your civil input is appreciated. Board members will not respond to your comments during the meeting. The superintendent or a designee will follow up with you after the meeting if action is needed. Instead of speaking at a meeting, you may also send an email to the board at board@tacoma.k12.wa.us. Please contact the board office in advance of the meeting for disability accommodations. Under Board Policy 1430, Public Comment, the board president may terminate an individual's comment when the allotted time has passed and may interrupt speakers to require the same standard of civility that the board imposes on itself. Examples of uncivil comments include comments that are libelous or slanderous under a legal standard, are unwarranted invasions of privacy, are obscene or incident pursuant to the Federal Communications Act or any rule or regulation of the Federal Communications Commission, violate school district policy or procedure related to harassment, intimidation, bullying, or discrimination, incite an unlawful act on school premises or violate a lawful school regulation, or create a material and substantial disruption of the orderly operation of the board meeting. The board as a whole has the final decision in determining the appropriateness of such rulings and can maintain order by removing those who are disruptive. However, the board recognizes the distinction between uncivil discourse, which is not, which it will not tolerate, and comments about the board, district, and/or staff that are negative yet still civil in nature. The board will exercise its authority to maintain order in a content-neutral manner. 2 options. The option 1 is a verbal comment. General counsel will call your name when it is your turn to address the school board. Please speak into the microphone. You may have up to 3 minutes to share your comments, or if there's a large number of speakers, time may be limited at the president's discretion. And option 2, written comment. We do have one written comment that's been submitted by Steve Daramonte, I hope I pronounced that correctly, regarding public safety issues at TPS, and I will pass it over to General Counsel Benro.
Yes, so we have one verbal comment for this evening, President Keating, and that will be Penny Kramer.
Good evening. I'm Penny Kramer, President of Tacoma Education Association, and I would like to speak about the amazing educators who are being honored this evening. These whole child champions, I wish they were still here, are representative of the many educators in our district. Every year I look forward to this celebration and hearing about the successes in this very difficult profession of educating the children who will become our future. And when these, congratulations to all of our educators who show up every day. And when they can't show up, we have guest teachers who step in to serve our students. Many of our guest teachers have built positive, collaborative relationships with staff and students. It is important to note that some of our guest teachers are so collaborative that they are basically members of the staff, that they're there so often and they are so well valued and trusted. And it is a pleasure to represent all of these members in the Tacoma Education Association. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that if anyone who is listening would like to become a part of the team and join our fabulous educators, we always are looking for more guest teachers. So if you're out there thinking, what do I need to do? That might be a job for you. So thank you to all of our educators, from the full-time, everyday, part-time, to the guest teachers. We appreciate and acknowledge that all of them are whole child champions. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. And do we have any other?
Not this evening.
Public
That concludes
okay.
verbal comment.
All right. And with that, we will move on to item 10.
I move to adopt the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. All right. And moving on to item number 11, policy matters. 11.1, second reading of new policy 3422, student sports, concussion, head injury, and sudden cardiac arrest.
The General Counsel, on behalf of the Director of Athletics and Activities, recommends that the Board of Directors adopt the revised proposal of Policy 3422. Just quickly, in this new policy, you can see a number of red lines which were made that makes it different than what we brought you in December or in the beginning of January for first reading. These comments largely flow from input received by community stakeholders in the Equity Policy Review Committee and some additions that were recommended by our own Director Leon. If there's any questions, happy to address them.
First, I think we need a motion.
I move. Wait, do I move?
Yes.
We already did that?
You haven't done it yet.
Oh, wait, I moved.
Okay, thank you.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? All right, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, passes. Thank you, General Counsel.
Yes.
Item number 12, I will speak slowly so Roz can make it up here. The financial report. The district's year-end financial report will be presented, and I'm just going to pass it over to you.
Thank you. I think we're just doing a normal update tonight. I don't know if it says year-end on there. My apologies if it does. I missed it.
No, I just want to remind folks is that, we were in a difficult place coming out of last year. And so we made a commitment to you folks to bring you monthly updates on some of our progress. So tonight is one of those updates. We'll be back with you in February. And so our CFO, Rosalind, is here tonight to give you an update on some of our strategies that we're implementing right now to help us achieve our goals, both with fund balance and to try to address the inequities of our state's education funding system and how we're moving forward. So,
Maybe the challenges of our economic system.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm just going to share a few slides with you regarding some of the mitigating strategies and give you an awareness of some of those strategies that we're employing currently. We did make mid-year position eliminations. If I talk really fast, I ate one of those cookies and I am sugar amped. So I will really try and pull it back, but woo. We did make an eliminations of positions for this year. We've started with 14 exempts. Those have been brought forward to the board at a previous board meeting. And we also made some reassignments of teachers back into buildings, back into classrooms where they can be best utilized in front of our students who require those services. They need those services. And that way we don't have to hire new teachers to come into the system while we're trying to work through our financial challenges. And there are future reductions that are pending. So we will be bringing back to you additional potential cuts that will be coming here in the next several weeks. So as the superintendent indicated, we've been talking to you since November about our financial situation, and we did come in below our 5% reserve requirement that's required by our policy. And so it's important for us to continue doing these monitoring activities, work to closely monitor our current financial situation and start to address those issues for now and for the future. We will have to make budget reductions for the future. We don't have a full amount of that yet, but these these are all strategies that we're working towards to help us employ for those future mitigations as well. We have essentially frozen hiring. There are some critical positions that we have to hire for that, if we need a classroom teacher, we need a classroom teacher. But we are scrutinizing those positions very significantly. We have a group of people that meets weekly to talk through what those implications are, and so the continued evaluation carries on. We've done a number of reductions of discretionary spending. So discretionary spending is basically non-salary based spending. And we've removed some capacity. I went out and swept some capacity out of the individual account holders and prevented them from being able to spend those resources. So I'm holding on to those. We're planning to do another sweep of resources to try to lower spending yet again. We've limited the use of P cards, the purchasing cards, so that people can slow down their spending as well. And then we're talking through strategies on limiting or reducing some of our contracts or contractual services down. Additionally, we've identified a couple of surplus properties that we were hoping to maximize efficiencies around. We will sell those properties, or we will put those properties on the market after we've gone through our typical, our formal surplusing process. So those will be coming to you at some point in the future for the formal surplusing process. But it's our intent to redistribute the staff that are currently staff and programs that are currently in those buildings out to other buildings where we have space. As we have talked at a number of times, our enrollment is down. Space is available within our current buildings. We no longer need these particular resources available to us. And then we can repurpose staff that are out in those buildings as well. So that will provide us with some cost savings as we're no longer having to maintain such a large footprint. And then trying to work through various types of lean efficiency practices. And one example that I put down on here was a reduction in routes for bus services. It doesn't necessarily mean that we'll lose staff in those areas, but it will mean that we won't have as many canceled routes, and we will be able to have a higher efficiency rating because we'll be more efficient in our processing, and efficiency rating is actually tied back to our funding source for the state. So any improvements that we make in how many routes that we're running and how often we're having to go out and service different areas of town, we'll be in a better position to achieve higher resources. Those all play into future mitigation strategies. We're evaluating program needs for the coming year. We have already announced a freezing of exempt salaries on their salary schedule, so no one will move up on the salary schedule for the coming year. Implicit price deflator that the state provides will be provided because we believe that that's required. And we will continue with position eliminations. The things that we're cutting in 23-24 will carry forward and have a positive impact for us for that future budget. We're seeking legislative assistance. We have advocates working on our behalf in a number of formats trying to help us achieve full funding. And of course, Madam President, you are well aware of our legislative actions because you are part of that team that is helping to communicate our struggles with our other legislators. And finally, we'll begin our development of the 24-25 budget and beyond. We really need to build strategies and plans around what things are going to look like for the next 5 to 10 years. And if legislative impacts don't help us significantly, we will continue to have to look internally to make those reductions and make space for the costs that we have to have. Oops, that's the wrong button. And then I think that it's a really natural occurrence as we start talking through future budget reductions to always look first at the administration. Well, what's happening administratively? Let's cut the administrative group. We have too much administration. We hear that a lot. So this is the first place that we made our reductions, and that's not unusual for the way that we've processed, and I don't think it's unusual for the budget strategies that you've put in place, the principles for us to follow as we're making decisions as a team. And if you look at this graph over the last 5 years, you can see that we've had some up and down trends. Right now, on December 27th, we were at 204 administrative staff, and that was representing about 5.7% of our total staff population. So that's our administrative number. However, with the 14 eliminations that we've made, those have not been accounted for yet here, so that will bring us down to 190 FTE, which is the lowest number that we will have seen in probably a decade. And that does mean that it becomes difficult for us to make sure that we're being compliant and make sure that we're following all of our rules and processing. I'd also add a couple of other notes around our administrative numbers. These don't all represent exempt supervisory staff. We have a number of represented staff that participate as part of our administrative group in various types of support roles. Some of them could be teachers. There are an occasional principal on special assignment. Our office professionals and professional technicals might often fall into this category. And so we want to be careful in saying, well, we just cut administration. Well, there's an impact across other systems as well. So with that, I will be happy to entertain any questions that you might have.
And just real quickly, sometimes this may be the first time you're hearing this, and I recognize that. And so I just want to give you some additional context. With this, we didn't start talking about our budget in November. We talked about the fund balance, right? So you've been regularly updated regarding a number of things. Declining enrollment. Why are we here? We have a declining enrollment in Tacoma Public Schools. And really what we're finding is that birth rates are lower, and our entries in our K-1s, especially right now, are much lower than across the state. And so you might see pockets in certain areas where they're growing, but across the state. And you can look at the news and see that it's across the nation and even across the world in a lot of ways. We see costs continue to rise. Insurance costs, transportation costs, food costs, just like your normal household budget, you're seeing costs rise at a pretty significant rate. And then we were the beneficiaries of ESSER dollars to help us. And we knew that those were had to be spent. We are spending some of those this year. This is our final year. And so we have been weaning our ways down. But in addition to those other two factors, it's making it more problematic. We are certainly not the only district in the state that is suffering these challenges. I know you folks at the WASDA with your colleagues, you're here across the state, you can watch across the news. And so how we're making these decisions are, I'll remind you, you have adopted it, through our budgeting priorities process, a 2-year budget. This is the second year of that budget. And so we are using the guiding principles that you have asked us to do. And so when Rosalind shares with you, we're starting with our administrator because those are furthest from the impact of the classroom, meaning physically, not just the impact in there. These are team members that make an impact. It is going to change the way that we do services. It is going to be difficult. But unfortunately, this is the reality that we are into. So I know we plan on giving you updates every month per your request on our mitigating strategies, but we are happy to answer any questions you have tonight based on the January information.
Anybody have any questions or comments? I just want to say a couple things. I was actually talking to a colleague, a school board director in North Shore, and they're facing similar, $20-25 million in budget cuts that they're having to make. And, this is happening for folks that are listening. This is happening across the state. It isn't just us, enrollment. I mean, all of these other pieces. And then the other thing that just I keep ruminating over is that inflation, some of that is manufactured inflation from companies, and those numbers are not going to, those costs aren't going down. And so there's a lot of things that are out of the district's control in terms of inflation and costs. And so, and then the other thing I think about in terms of the reductions is from the central administration staff, there's a lot of work. I know that now, sitting on this side of things, and when you are not necessarily up close, there is a substantial amount of work that happens in this building and throughout our central admin. And so I just want to say, thank you to all of our staff, and also understanding the impacts of the current cuts, that, the work doesn't go away. And so I just want to, acknowledge that and thank the efforts that you all have put in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosalind.
All right. 13, curriculum and instruction. Item 13.1, approval of interdistrict agreement between Franklin Pierce School District and Tacoma Public Schools for the 2023 through 2024 swim season.
The Assistant Superintendent of K-12 Support, on behalf of the Director of Athletics and Activities, recommends that the Board of Directors approve the interdistrict agreement TSD-23-117 between Franklin Pierce School District and Tacoma Public Schools for the 2023-2024 swim season.
I move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Yeah.
Is this done because those schools don't have access to pools? They need our pools to train?
Yes, they're renting our pools.
Yeah.
Is that right, Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Any other questions, comments? All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it passes. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Item 14, business matters. Item 14.1, approval of agreement between the City of Tacoma, Tacoma Creates, and Tacoma Public Schools from July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
The Assistant Superintendent of K-12 Support, on behalf of the Director of Athletics and Activities, recommends that the Board of Directors approve proposed contract number TSD-24-005 between the City of Tacoma and Tacoma Public Schools from July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2024.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to adopt item 14.1.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Item 14.2, approval of Tacoma Public Schools and Metro Parks Tacoma Beyond the Bell contract and data sharing agreement from September 1, 2023 through August 31st, 2024.
The Assistant Superintendent of K-12 Support, on behalf of the Director of Athletics and Activities, recommends that the Board of Directors approve the proposed contract number TSD-23-118 between Tacoma Metro Parks and Tacoma Public Schools from September 1, 2023 to August 31st, 2024.
I move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
Madam President, I just want to take a moment to thank both Tony and James. The last three items are pretty significant partnerships. And James, do the Franklin Pierce kids get to swim in our pools with our coaches?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's some subtleties to when you think about partnerships that Tony and James have led in these three items. It would be easy for us to say, no, you're not our kids, but to develop partnerships, not only to use the pools, because the schools are so small they can't afford their own teams. So Franklin Pierce kids are being able to come and join it, and that's a great way to build community with kids. We don't have to do those things. Sometimes they take a lot of extra work to do those things. The partnership with Tacoma Creates that you have supported is about making sure that the community's investment for the Tacoma Creates funding is about providing kids access and transportation through busing to field trips, cultural events, and supports in there. And then the Beyond the Bell and the contract and the data sharing, I think we've talked about some of the Beyond the Bell, so I won't repeat. Their leadership, both Tony and James, is really critical, and sometimes we do these action items, but it's not lost on me all the work that is put in so that kids don't have to feel anything but joy through each of these. And so I'm extremely grateful for their leadership and all the team's leadership. But you just approved, well, 2 and potentially 3 real moments of joy for kids. And so I hope you consider the third one as well.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, it passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you so much, Tony. All right, item 14.3, approval of guaranteed maximum price, GMP, amendment number 3 with Neely Construction Company for the ground floor, Willie Stewart Academy North, tenant improvements project.
The Chief Operating Officer recommends that the Board of Directors approve the Guaranteed Maximum Price Amendment 3, which states the cost for 9th and Broadway ground floor tenant improvements project, and authorize the superintendent or designee to sign said amendment in the amount of $987,000 excluding sales tax.
Move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it passes. Item 14.4, approval to negotiate and award design-build alternate method contract with Washington Patriot Construction for the Ginny Reed Elementary modernization, that's a very hard word, project.
We're excited about this project. We have a new design builder and new architect that are both local. The Chief Operating Officer recommends that the Board of Directors approve the superintendent to negotiate and award a contract to Washington Patriot Construction for the design-build alternative method for the Jenny Reed Elementary modernization project.
Move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
Comment. I'm really excited that they're a local partner. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Any others? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It passes. All right, Chris, I think you're here for the next one. 14.5, approval to negotiate and award design-build alternate method contract with Corsmo Construction for the Lowell Elementary replacement project.
The Chief Operating Officer recommends that the Board of Directors approve the superintendent to negotiate and award a contract to Corsmo Construction for the design-build alternative method for Lowell Elementary replacement project.
Move to adopt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
Comment. They're also local.
And I would just add, so is Neely. So all three of them, if you choose to adopt this one, would be meeting your MDBE local goals with specific inclusion plans to support local economy under Chris and Alicia Morris's leadership.
Excellent. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Item 15, other business, there is none. And so we come to item 16, board comments and reports. And I would like to ask if Liliana has something you would like to share.
Hi, I'm Lillian Taylor. I'm a student rep from Silas High School. I've just kind of got the same thing from last time about Mean Girls. It's in about 2 weeks is opening night. The 9th to the 10th, 15th, 16th, and 17th are days, and you can order it at silasmeangirls.brownpapertickets.com, or you can get them at the door, or you can get them at the Silas High School Drama website. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're getting excited and also kind of scared. It's going to be fun. So, yeah.
Excellent. And I apologize, Lillian, not Liliana.
Yeah.
I actually was just talking to a Stadium student who is in, oh gosh, I just forgot the musical that they're doing.
In the Heights.
In the Heights, thank you. And I had mentioned Mean Girls, and they were like, oh my gosh, they were really excited. And so it was really cool to talk to another drama student at a different school, excited about what you all are doing.
Yeah.
And so, there's going to be a lot of really talented performances coming up. And I'm proud that I got those dates correct when I reiterated them the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian.
Thank you.
All right. Who else would like to go?
I'm ready. No, really, it's the end of the month, and I say the same thing all the time. I wanted to thank the superintendent for pointing out ways that people could donate socks and underwear, like right from our TPS website, so it's helpful for folks who are looking for those resources. People are chiming in, they're like, Josiah, you're just like talking into the void, and like, where can we find it? So thank you for the effort.
Miss Jumper and the communications team have done a marvelous job listening and adding that, so big shout out to all of them. Thank you.
Thank y'all. So yeah, basically it's the end of January, and I just want to say that we won't be here on February 1st, but February is Black History Month. It's deeply important to me as a Black American citizen and as a community auntie to all these kids in town. And so as we lean into Black History Month, stepping out right after Whole Child Month, leaning into how can we be our best selves, how can we be our most anti-racist self, how can we uplift this next generation and continue towards that 91.1. It's all inclusive as we like honor who these children are. Oh, and then a comment. I learned something is that there's actually, there's a petition going around about caps and gowns. And what students can do is reach out to their school administrators and find out directly what their school is working on towards that. I know last year I had Mount Home High School. I saw all types of kids celebrating their culture in various ways. So reach out to your school administrators if you have questions about that.
Awesome. Anything else?
Nothing.
All right. No. Okay.
I do have a report this evening, even though I said I didn't have one. Huh? No, and it's not from J-Man. Nice try. Last board meeting, I mentioned to you all that I was headed over to Truman to speak about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. I lived through that experience. It was exciting. It was an honor. It was my 5th time speaking about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King in a way that middle schoolers could understand. And from what I hear, these are not my own words. I did a good job. So I just thought you guys were wondering how that went. Shout out to Tristan Allen, Dr. Stout, and the ASB students. We got the president of the ASB, Zach, Vice President Ayla, Jaden, who was an ASB rep. They really stepped up and led the charge, and there were 4 6th graders shaking in their boots like I was somebody to be concerned about, asking me questions. It's the cutest thing I've seen in a long time. No, I didn't sign no. I did not.
I'll talk to Andre.
But they stood up and they did a really good job. So just hats off to the team over there. On Tuesday, sorry, stealing your thunder, President Keating, we were at Hunt for the open house. It was exciting. First of all, I learned about the parts of a bagpipe. They had a stadium bagpipe player over there. I was walking in and I'm like, not sure what that is. But anyway, she taught me all about the bagpipe and the different parts, and I'm pretty sure that I could play that if I wanted to now.
I've invited him to do that during board meetings.
There you go. So if y'all hear some screeching when you coming down here, either come in at your own risk. President Keating gave remarks. It was exciting to be in the building with the old school Scotties and the new school Thunder. The building is absolutely beautiful. The staff are absolutely dedicated. Told us which stairs to go up for safety, which stairs to go down. Had dance team. We ate cookies. Man, it was a good night. So shout out to the voters, because that building is a blessing to the community, and the students are definitely taking very, very good care of it. Finally, before I wrap up, I'll just say whether you like it or not, we're in the home stretch. There's 5 months left of school. I mean, if you're counting on your hand. And that doesn't mean that we have arrived anywhere, though. Like, we still got a whole bunch of work that needs to take place. So I just want to encourage our students and our staff to keep going. Like, that's always going to be my message. Just keep going. If things are tough for you, help is here. If things are going great for you, help somebody else. And I think if we can adopt that mindset, we'll be able to move forward lock and step. So shout out to all of you all. Shout out to 91.1%. Let's keep pushing. Thank you.
And I will just add around Hunt that it was really fun because when Hunt was a transition site, my own kid was at the previous building when the now not so new Geiger building was being built. And so it was really fun being in the new building and being able to, in a formal way, celebrate them. And it was postponed to, I'll just throw it out to the pandemic. So it took a while, and that's why this celebration was happening. And another little fun fact, so I wore green as to try and sport Hunt Thunder. And VP Strozier and I were in the broadcast room. Is that what that was? And there was the green screen was behind us, and all of a sudden we're looking at this. I was like, I've disappeared from here up, or from here down. So that was pretty fun. And I'm sure there's lots of photographs of that. Tanisha, please don't.
I have them all.
I'm just going to ask you very kindly. Thank you. And then the other thing that did happen, since we're going to talk about all things art and theater, the students had performed a mini preview of their upcoming musical, The Addams Family, and it was awesome. It was super, super cool. And I think they had 5 days since they got the scripts and the song, and you would have never known that those kids had just gotten those the scripts and the songs, and it was super fun. So I don't know when that performance, I don't know that we were told when that performance is happening, but we'll find out and report back. And then the other I think I will add, I feel like all things legislation or ledge session have been happening. let's see, actually, on the 15th, yeah, so on Martin Luther King Day, Junior Day, Corey and I were actually down at the Capitol, and as guests of Representative Melanie Morgan, and we got to be, we were up in the gallery for a little bit, and then we got to be on the sides of, I don't remember what that's called. But
in the wings.
In the wings, thank you. The wings of the House floor. You cannot walk onto the House floor when it is in session, and so we were actually the only guests that were given a call out by the Speaker of the House and honored for being there, which was really special. So, Tacoma, we were in the House. And we got to actually get up on to where the Speaker of the House, it's not a call to dais, preside, yeah, but it's not a call, whatever. So, but Corey made me hold the gavel. And so did the Speaker of the House. So that was funny. But anyway, so that was really quite an honor. And there was a great choir group that was from a church up in Seattle that sang the Black National Anthem. And it was just I'd not been in the Capitol for this event, for this celebration before. And it was really special. And I'm going to work to get an invitation next year as well.
I'll also say it was interesting as well. And if anybody wants to know why it was interesting, please come and talk to me and I'll tell you.
No, it was great. Corey?
It was great. No.
It was great.
Nothing negative.
Yeah.
I said interesting.
No. So that was a really, really cool celebration. And so, and we're actually extremely fortunate in the Tacoma area to have representatives in the 27th, 28th, and 29th legislative districts who are very committed to public education. And so it was a cool thing to be a part of. And then I also testified later that day in the Senate Education Hearing Committee. So I will be going to DC tomorrow morning, very early, for the NSBA conference and for WASDA's federal delegation meetings on the Hill, which will happen Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And so as the chair of the Federal Network Relations Committee, I am leading a cohort of other board colleagues around the state to go meet with our federal delegates, which is going to be really exciting and kind of a smaller group. So we'll end up talking to representatives from actually multiple areas of the state. So that'll be, we're truly representing all Washington State students, which I like to always remind myself and others that also benefits our own students. I don't know. I feel like I've just had 1,000 legislative related meetings. So, I don't think I have anything else.
You did it.
Did all the things. All right, anybody else? We good?
Just a quick reminder, Beyond the Bell registration is live for those folks that want that opportunity. And so please just go ahead and jump on your school's website. There's the largest number of offerings ever in partnership that we've ever had in every elementary school, and then Columbia opportunities as well. As Director Strozier mentioned, we're halfway there. Semester's ending. Please work with your classroom teacher. Our classroom teachers are just doing an absolutely phenomenal job working through supporting kids. And so I'm extremely grateful. And so if you have questions, reach directly out to them about how they can bring that to the finish line. And then as we mentioned, a lot of the arts tonight, really encourage folks to go out there. We're finding better ways to collect that data on how the students are participating in the arts to celebrate that. Jump on your school's website, go spend some time there. And then our athletics and activities, we tease about basketball and wrestling right now, but there are many more other athletics and activities going on. And we're getting right onto the playoff season. And so some exciting basketball going on. I'm tracking the Stadium Tigers seem to be the front runners for the league championship right now. And so we just keep on cheering our kids on because they're doing some amazing things. And thank you.
You're welcome. All right, item 17, announcements of next regular board meetings. February 8th, 6 p.m. will be our next business meeting. February 15th will be a study session at 6 p.m. And then February 22nd, 6 p.m. will be another business meeting. And with that, we're adjourned.
Go Waves.
Well, always.